Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the functionality that we're going to get from this module when it's complete. The first part you may recognize from the Introduction to Hooks video, in which we built the first version of this module, called Trails. And that's this block on the left-hand side here called History. And what it will do is display a list of the pages that the user has visited as links, so they can click them and go back to them. In our previous version, we only stored data in one place, and we didn't store it for individual users. So even if there were multiple users, all of their history would be aggregated into this one block here. In this version, we are separating that data out by user. So even though there might be multiple users using this site at the same time, this history trail will be unique to each user. So that's one improvement. The other improvement is that we've added a new page at trails/history, and this displays a list of the history of all users with some additional information. One additional piece of data that we're storing is the session ID for each user. If you're unfamiliar with sessions, the idea of a session is that every time a user visits a site, they get a session ID, and that session ID is stored as a cookie in their browser, and it identifies them when they connect to the server. So Drupal will store a session ID for a user for the duration of their visit, and depending on if the session is being used to store additional data, even anonymous users may get a session ID that persists throughout their entire session until they close their browser, for example. So what we're doing here is displaying the session ID for each visit, and we're also displaying a unique color for each visitor based on the session ID. And then next to this is a link to the page that they visited and the time. So besides the session ID and unique color, it's pretty much identical in functionality to the history list. It's also being themed as a table, and it's being paginated. So we have multiple pages of history here, and we can click on one of the numbers to go to the next page. Okay, what I'm going to do is uninstall this module, and we're going to start building it from the ground up.